Hi everybody, welcome to Alvarez TV.
Hello.
Hi. How you doing?
We haven't got any guitars today. Tim, as usual, comes in early, bags the best ones.
Ain't that the truth?
I'll have these, thank you very much. What are we doing today, D?
Today, Chris
Yeah.
and Tim, we're answering a question that we got from a viewer.
Yes.
Yes, Herschel, I believe.
Herschel?
Yes, who we're discussing about 12 fret and 14 fret guitars, right?
Yeah. In an earlier video, right?
An earlier video.
Yeah.
And we touched on the subject of the kind of sustain, whether we thought a 14 or a 12 had a difference on the edge on the sort of on the length of the note.
Yeah.
And I think you thought
14.
14.
Mm-hmm.
Herschel thought 12.
Well, Herschel said that he questioned my comment because JP Cormier, who's a good friend of ours, awesome player.
Yes.
I think Herschel had heard JP say something like he thought there was more sustain on a 12.
Yeah.
So that's why we're here. So
So
I said to Herschel, great point, let's do a test.
do it.
Yeah.
So we've got two, they're the same spec guitars.
Yeah.
They're both solid, the Masterworks are both solid rosewood, solid high grade Sitka tops. Same bracing FS6.
Mm-hmm.
Same everything else, except one is joined at the 12th fret and is slightly rounder shouldered, and one is joined at the 14th and slightly squared. I don't think the square or round elements is going to impact on this conversation, but the difference is the neck joint. Actually, the difference isn't the neck joint, but we'll get into that.
And they've even got the same set of strings on. Well, not
Okay.
two sets of the same
What
strings.
strings
So-
are you using?
The Dario XS,
Yeah.
restrung, so
favourite of
everything's the
ours.
same.
So everything's the same
Everything's the
bridge,
same.
same everything. Oh, well, I mean, one's got a pick guard, but that, again, that doesn't arguably make a lot of difference audibly. So that's where we're at. So, 12, 14, we've had the conversation where some people love, like Tim loves a 12. And you do get some great response and all that sort of stuff. And then obviously, for some styles of music, maybe flat picking. Very rarely would you see somebody use a 12. That's the question. We have got some technical apparatus set up.
These are the mics that we normally use when we are recording our product videos, and we use these for the comparison on the website. The Browner Phantom and a lovely B&K Broad & Shah Vintage 4006, which is
Nice.
rather lovely.
Okay.
So yeah,
So
pretty
got the
flat,
big- got
no
the big guns
EQ.
out.
Yep, got the big guns, no EQ, no compression, no nothing. We're just literally listening to the guitar as flat as we possibly can.
Okay.
Now, what you want to hear? That's the best way to do this.
Well, let's get into something first.
Uh-huh.
To me, let's not get confused where the neck joint is.
Right.
It's about construction.
Okay.
And what the neck joint does is put the bridge in a different place relative to the X brace,
Right,
right?
right.
What I
right.
said was, you need rigidity for sustain. And there's more rigidity in a 14th fret because, can you remember when I said where the axis of the X comes, it actually runs over, underneath the bridge, where that bridge is more floating because it's further back. So you've got that X coming down, the bridge is there, it's more floating. Where this one, the bridge is forward, it's near the X. So that whole bridge, sound hole area is tighter. There's more construction going on. You've got a bridge plate underneath, you've got a bridge on top, you've got X's coming down in a sort of triangle like this.
Right.
Where you push that back, these don't push back, you push this part back and all of a sudden the bridge is in a bit of a land of its own.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when you excite that bridge, it's going to vibrate more easily.
Sure.
So one quick thing first of all, just the basic guitar skill. When you strike a string, it vibrates.
Yep.
That vibration travels through the bridge, the saddle and the bridge, and it excites the top. And the top moves, and that generates all the sound waves inside the instrument. And there's lots of mechanics going on, and sound wave mechanics. Whether we call it response, let's call it response or volume. Volume is created, although they're both acting together, the mechanics of the sound waves for volume is different to what you need for sustain. Because you want the top for response to be weaker. Whereas for sustain, you've got to have rigidity to keep that note going. So that's what I was saying in my conversation. You need that in the top. When the bridge is back, the top's going. You're going to get initial response and volume, right, and that roundness that we all love on the 12th fret. In my understanding and what we've tried at these guitars, that note is going to decay quicker. And the reason being is because when you strike the string and the string vibrates, the top will then vibrate. The string, because it's got nothing rigid to keep it vibrating, the string will stop vibrating and the top takes on that vibration and it decays more quickly because there's nothing driving it.
Yep.
14th, which is rigid, you strike that string, it vibrates, and the rigidity of the top through the bracing doesn't allow the vibration of the string to stop. It keeps it going. So the rigidity of the top, the guitar, drives the string to vibrate more rather than absorbing all of that energy
Yeah.
and decaying.
Yes.
Do you understand?
I do. And I am as surprised by this test as I thought this would sustain more. But
Because people, we all do it. We pick up a guitar, we go boom, it's like volume, and you think, wow, that's good.
Yeah.
Right? Which it is, you know, it's instant response and it's like a player experience. We all love that. And we all love low end, right? But depending on what you're playing, you know, if you want more treble, you need more, you know, you probably want to build the guitar a little heavier. You know, as we all learn more and more, and this is the lovely thing about all the different opinions of different luthiers, finding that sweet spot between volume and sustain, response and sustain, making the guitar weak enough to vibrate, strong enough to last and sustain. They're different mechanical elements, and they almost oppose each other. So finding that sweet spot is like what everybody has an opinion about.
yeah.
But don't get confused with response. It doesn't mean it's sustain.
Yeah.
And think about decay and think about presence. You know, presence is different to volume. There's lots of things going on. So look beyond the initial woof of volume and see, you know, is the note lasting a long time? Maybe you don't. So I mean, in lots of acoustic playing, you don't need the note to last a long time, but sometimes you do.
Yeah.
And what do you need from that?
So I'm ready to be surprised by this because I think the same as several people, that 12 frets, because the bridge was in a different place, would sustain more because it's more open too. But let's just give it a shot and see.
But that vibration dissipates quick.
I didn't think it would. I didn't understand the kind
Well,
of...
actually, it's still a long note.
Yes.
It's just not as long as having rigidity in the top that you get from a 14 because of where the bridge is relation to the rest of the struts, etc.
I didn't realise it would vibrate enough to vibrate all the struts at the same time and everything.
Are you using a pick?
Both. I'll be doing a bit of both. Would start off. You can tell me what to do. That's what all these guitars are here for.
Do like a 12 fret note, maybe on the what I was doing, like on the, I don't know, maybe on the D or the G or something.
I'll go for 12 fret note on the G string. So.
Lots of sustain.
Yeah.
Nice.
Right. Exactly the same thing. On this. Ready?
So what are you doing for the summer? So you can have a chat, right? You can go away and that's still ringing.
Half as long again, at least, I think.
I think, and then some.
Yeah, maybe it's even twice as long.
That decayed fast.
Yeah.
And that did not. I was wondering how
you might hear it or not.
Whether it might be really subtle.
Hopefully that came through. It was very, very clear here.
Let's just do that again.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'll do this one first. It's about there. Still going.
It's still going. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Same attack.
Yes.
The decay. I mean, that was a fatter note, wasn't it?
I think you hit that one harder than you did that time.
I really concentrated on trying to hit them equally as hard.
But it still didn't last as long.
No, it didn't. But I was really trying
There
for it.
there was a volume burst, and then it noticeably decayed.
Do you know what? I'm surprised. They sound really different.
I want to hear a chord.
I want to hear a chord.
Yeah.
Can you do the famous Tim Bloomer G chord?
You want a simple a G chord without a third? Here we go.
Great sound though.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that is a nice sound. Right, same on the other one then?
Yeah.
Alrighty.
It's like night and day.
Yeah, I wasn't
Night and
expecting
day.
this much difference at all.
Yeah.
So great question. Thank you, Herschel, for sending that in. So we know there's volume response, which is generated by vibration of the top. They both are. Sustain needs that top to be rigid to drive the string to keep that note going. And because of the construction where the bridge is in relation to the rest of the elements under the top, 14th fret has more rigidity. And especially when you're comparing exact same guitars like this than it does on a 12.
Well, I was going to play some more things. I was going to go through some chords and stuff, but I don't think we need to. I think kind of those two examples give you everything.
Yeah.
Then it's tonal preference after that, but that gives you everything that you need to know about sustain, I think.
I knew this would have more, but I didn't realise it would be that clear cut.
Well, I'm really surprised because I thought that would.
Yeah.
So
Well, there you go.
Okay. Keep the questions coming, everybody. We'll
very
try really hard to accommodate as much as we can.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next time.
Superb.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Cheers.